Welcome back, everybody. This is Michael Liability from JurisQ, a legal network of attorneys in various states, various practice areas. And today, welcome back a personal injury attorney, Zielinski of Counsel in the law office of Herbert Lawrence in New Jersey. And Stephen, today we're going to discuss a very important topic. Unfortunately, sometimes truck accidents happen. We see a lot of trucks going through state of New Jersey because of I-95 and other roads. There's like a main arteries connecting north and south of US, delivering goods. And of course, if someone's involved in an accident with a truck, it could be horrific. So Stephen, please tell us, no matter how horrific the accident is, you're going to want to be compensated for all the damages and for the pain, suffering. If God forbid a person passed away, their estate would want to be compensated. Tell us, how would that work with a truck accident?
Thank you, Michael. Yes. If anybody has driven on the New Jersey Turnpike or any of the interstate roads, or even on our local roads, they are aware of the volume of trucks that has increased. Tractor trailers, 18-wheelers, even pickup trucks.
Yeah.
Pickup trucks are, every small business has them. The contractors have them. They are trucks also. And when those pickup trucks or a tractor trailer gets into an accident, that's a volume vehicle. When it hits a smaller car, has momentum and may cause significant personal injuries, let alone property damage to those cars.
Right.
And what happens in that situation is usually handled very quickly, because the police arrive at a scene where a truck accident happens, and they do a pretty good investigation. They do a very good investigation. A couple of years ago, if you remember, there was an accident on the turnpike where a famous actor got very badly injured in the accident, and he was very disabled for a long time.
I think Martin Lawrence, I believe.
It was a very, very well publicized truck accident. But what happened was he had appropriate coverage, insurance coverage, okay? And what happened was he was in another vehicle that had appropriate coverage. So he got the proper treatment and made a pretty decent recovery, even though he sustained a lot of pain and injury and downside, including emotional upset because he couldn't work. He was out of business for a year or two, if you remember. Yeah. Well, that's what happens in an accident like that. Trucks, when they collide with smaller vehicles, have a tendency not to be damaged so much, but the car or the smaller truck does in fact sustain significant injuries. And you know, from your falling down or getting hurt, that as a person inside the vehicle, you are more fragile than the vehicle itself. So if the vehicle that you're in is damaged, more likely than not, you're going to sustain some personal injury yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
The problem with some of these injuries is that they don't manifest themselves for a week, 2, 3 weeks after the accident. So it's very important, number one, after an accident, especially a truck accident, to get all the information. And usually you can get this from the police report, also from the investigating police officer. And it's also very important to identify any eyewitnesses to the accident who may or may not have seen what happened. Now, anybody who's an attorney who's practiced law in court knows that witnesses make the difference between winning or losing a case.
Of course.
So it's important for you as an injured person immediately after the accident to contact a personal injury lawyer who knows what to do and how to do it, especially contacting the witnesses, either the operator of the truck, the trucking company business, or any of the other vehicles that may have stopped that witnessed the accident, and get their information as soon as possible so that the case can be investigated and you can document not only the injuries but also how the accident happened. And that's important because a lot of these accidents happen on interstate roads or state roads or the parkway. Trucks don't generally hang out on the parkway, but there's a lot of trucks going on the parkway, as everybody knows, from New Brunswick into New York. There's a lot of construction vehicles on that road, and those are trucks also, not only the delivery trucks.
Right.
And they are going 70, 80, 90 miles an hour. So when they get into these accidents, the vehicles stop and then they're removed from the scene. But there's also things that you have to do. A lot of these accidents, because they are so horrific, are covered by the news media. Channel 7, ABC, NBC, they have their cameras on the site. So it's important for you as an injured person to have an attorney contact these news media and procure actual photographs of the injuries and the ambulances and the injured persons on the scene. And that has to be done very soon after the accident, or those images are lost, and you may forfeit certain rights to do that. Basically, what happens is the case proceeds as a normal, regular claim after that. And we go to the insurance company that handles the trucking accidents, which are usually trucking companies that write the insurance, and they're not in New Jersey most of the time. So those injuries are negotiated and settled if you have all the right information at the fingertips. Okay, if you don't have that, you may find that there's a delay or a failure to produce that evidence when the claim is processed.
Steven, thank you so much for a great overview of what could possibly happen if one gets injured in a truck accident in New Jersey. As we discussed, the injuries could be great. You may have loss in the wages because you could have had a fracture and out of work for a period of time. You want to get the compensation for everything to the maximum, from pain, suffering, like you said, Herbert, like you said, Stephen, compensation for your emotional distress, for wages, car damages, personal injury, but everything maximum allowed by law. Thank you so much. Thank you everybody for tuning in. And our next topic will be about motorcycles. There are some nuances in the law on what happens if you get injured by a motorcycle in the state of New Jersey. You want to hear about it. Meanwhile, if you have any questions, you want to have a free consultation from a personal injury attorney, Steven Zielinski, or his partner, Herbert Lawrence, please feel free to call the phone number on the bottom of the screen. Thank you. Until next time. Thanks, Steven.